Well, hello everyone. I hope you had a good week. Tonight we got a special guest by the name of Bambi, and she will explain about how PBM or red light therapy has helped her whole family. A couple of things to bring up is number one, we have the mini canopy. It's mini canopy, sorry. No, we're not giving away a mini canopy. We got the ultimate, the Palm Ultimate, and that's a $1,300 value. And at the end of the month, we'll be doing a draw. And one of the people that have watched our program every Tuesday evening, or as many Tuesday evenings as they do, each time they do, they'll get one ballot put in, and that one ballot. So if you watch four times over the course of the month, you'll get 4 ballots put in. And I just want to say, we do know when if there's someone out there that wants to try and create 5 computers running all the same name, it's kind of obvious that you're trying to win. But no, we won't count that. Anyways, so we got this Palm Ultimate $1,300 unit for up for winning. Also, this month we have the Black Friday special where we're giving 10% off. And so you go to the website and you'll see on the top banner the code that you would use on checkout to give you 10% off. So that's there as well. And yeah, so that's the other thing I will say is we're sending out also a program, if a program that you can join in on, and that is that we will also be giving through a point system. If you can lead other people to learn about our light, if you're willing to talk to your friends about joining in, you'll get so many points for every person that you join in. And we can reach out with our program that we have and our offers. And if you do that, what happens is the most number of points that you get, the person will be in 21 days. The person with the highest number of points will get one of the Super Palms. That's a $1,900 value. And that would be the first thing. Second winner of the second highest number of points, they will win 20% off. And third person winning, third place, will be an additional 10% off as well. So anyways, please join in, tell all your friends about it, and that'll help us get out there and teach people how light therapy can help a lot of people. So with that happening, let's have our video.
PBM stands for Photobiomodulation. Photo being light, bio being biology, and light, well, light coming from some kind of source. In this case, PBM is used to help stimulate healing in the body, whether it's an LED, whether it's a laser, whether it's a sun, but that light comes through the skin layers, and actually the cells are able to absorb that light, converting it to energy, and then there's a host of different processes that are stimulated because of that light. So you can speed up healing, you can do different things that is very beneficial for the cells themselves, for healing, for reduction of inflammation, and a host of other things. Kerber USA is a company that we have set up to promote healing for the US and around the world. We would like to see this technology help a lot of people. We use LED technology where we can provide high amounts of light into the body, and that stimulates healing. I'd like to introduce you to the SunPowerLED Palm Ultimate. This device here has the most power of the series of devices. This light can produce a huge amount of light that can enter into the body and help speed up that healing. In this device, we have two different wavelengths. It's 660 nanometer, and as you can see, it's very bright, but it's very effective. You will cause a systemic effect with this wavelength of light. The other wavelength is 810. It's not very visible, but it penetrates very deep, and that can help as well reach the target that you're trying to reach. The main part about this light is that we have the power behind it and the large surface area that can reach very deep into the body. We believe that our product is the most powerful LED cluster under the sun. We have specification of this device of 150 milliwatts per square centimeter, and that is over this entire area of 40 square centimeters. It also provides a wall of light that comes through the skin and is able to reach depths that have never been able to be done before with other light products on the market. There's an interesting biblical passage in Malachi 4:2 that talks about the healing that comes from the rays of the sun. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to provide healing with these rays. PBM has also been shown in various studies to be able to help promote healing in wounds such as diabetic ulcers, venous ulcers, and other areas where cuts or burns or other types of wounds are on the skin level. If you have any questions about PBM and how our light device, the SunPowerLED Palm series, can help you, please reach out to us and we'll get back to you as soon as we can.
There. Hi, Bambi.
Hi, Tom.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Better.
So, how'd you hear about us?
Well, it was through my dad. So Martin, it was using the light.
Okay.
Yeah. So then okay, just like the short story. He hurt his elbow. I think it was his clavicle, like few months back, and then he was waiting for
Clavicle, clavicle bone.
yeah, the clavicle bone.
Okay. Yeah.
So then he was waiting for an appointment with a specialist, but it will, like, the appointment was supposed to take like a month before it happened, but he was in pain.
Right.
So I think he heard about the light through a family friend. Then he started using it, because I remember when he was in pain, he couldn't even move. Like he was carrying his arm like this, close to his chest. So at some point when he started using the light, it was one day I went there to visit them, and so he was grabbing, ready to grab like a kettle, like full of water. And I was like, what happened? Hold on. I know that you haven't seen a specialist.
So he had his arm like this, couldn't move it, and next to you,
couldn't move. Yeah.
So then he
And
was using one of these devices, right?
One of the, yeah, exactly. So, and then it was ready, like, just to carry like a full kettle of water. So I was like, okay, hold on, what happened? And then he he showed me the lamp, and yeah. So that's he told me that he was using it, and when my sister came over, she talked about that too, and so I was like, okay, this is something nice to have at home,
Right.
So, and that's how I start researching, and I came to the Zoom meeting on Tuesday.
Right.
And I was ready
one of our webinars, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So I came to the webinar, and from there, it just happened that week I broke my ankle.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh, so you know what it is you can't be watching my webinars anymore because you'll break your ankle.
I know, right? But I think I'm gonna learn more
Yeah.
because
But
I would say that that was a blessing in disguise. Because yeah, at some point, so when I broke my ankle, so I couldn't go to the office, so I had to stop everything because I was worried that being self-employed, I was worried that like making that kind of purchase, I won't be able like just to live like for the month that I was off work.
right.
So then it's happened that Faith called me and she told me, okay, why don't you just try the lamp and see if it's like how it's gonna work. And but I had a cast, I had a cast on, and she explained that just like where you don't have the cast, try to put it like on your knee, for example, like just where the cast start. So I
Right.
was like, okay, because like from what my dad explained, it was supposed to go on your skin where
Normally,
you,
yes, that's the
yeah,
case, but when there's a cast, it's pretty hard to get there. So,
exactly.
but you can treat around the area where the cast is because you
Hmm.
are still changing things in the blood. You're improving the
Yeah,
blood that's going down. So, yeah, continue.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's like how I was using it. So like in the meantime, when I broke my ankle, I had to wait like 3 days before having surgery and have another cast, and it was just so painful. But with the lamp, using the lamp, so I was putting the lamp on my knee and then on my toes.
Okay.
So yeah, so just like hoping that he will do something, but actually he was doing something because I was less and less in pain. And so I had a follow up with my surgeon 2 weeks later after my surgery. So when I went there, and they was just ready because they did the X-ray and they were just ready to remove the cast. And the surgeon was looking at me and asked me, "Hey, did I do the surgery like two? Was it 3 weeks ago?" I was like, "No, it was 2 weeks ago." And then he was like, "Huh, okay, you're a tough lady. You're healing too fast."
Yeah.
And I was like, "I see."
He had a hard time believing what he
Believe
saw.
me. Yeah, especially because of my age too. I'm not that young
Oh,
anymore.
come on, you're only 20.
Yeah, I'm only 20. So then it was like it was weird for him. It was like, you healing too fast. You're a tough lady. I'm like, yes, I think so. But for me, I know I know what I was doing. It was the
Right.
lamp, the light.
Yeah. Did you
So
mention to him about the light therapy or you didn't bother?
no, I didn't bother. I
Yeah.
didn't bother, yeah, because at some point you have to explain, and most of the time I know how it goes with doctor. If it's not something that they invented or something like that, they came up with.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
most of the time, yeah. And
It can't be doing anything, right?
exactly. So
But
I
I
was like,
still
I say,
can't,
okay.
they would say, but I still can't believe what I see. I had one surgeon say to the one fellow how fast he healed. He had a bone graft done inside his mouth,
Uh-huh.
major bone graft. And the surgeon said, I can't believe this. I see 4 weeks of healing in 2 weeks. He says,
Into
this doesn't, this is not normal. You're just healing really, really fast.
first, yeah.
And then he said, well, I'm using this new technology, this new light that this Tom Kerber developed in
Mhm.
Hamilton, and it's helped speed up healing. Oh, no, no, that can't have anything to do with it.
Exactly.
But that's what you saw, right?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
how?
because actually the X-ray was there like just to prove it. So
Yeah. You know what? Maybe I should get a copy of those X-rays for other people so they before
mhm.
and after.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
it'll show we had another person on a week ago or a couple of weeks ago that had a rib fracture, a rib broke his ribs, right? You know,
Mm-hmm.
and in 4 weeks they couldn't see the evidence of a bone break at all. It had totally healed in such a beautiful manner. There was not even a sign that there was a break there. So yes, bones can heal very, very well. So how did that work with you after you had the cast taken off?
So it was even like better because then I can I was able to put it like straight on my like
Ankle.
right on my skin, yeah, on my ankle. And so the thing is, he told me that I will be able to walk like in the 8 weeks, like starting like 8 weeks that I'll be able to put like some weight on my foot and be able like with crutches and everything. But it's not even it's not even 2 months, 8 weeks, but I'm already walking. So that's the thing. I've been walking like for like first of all with my the hair cast, the boots on. So it has been 2 weeks. No, it has been, yeah, 2 weeks after the removal of the cast,
Yes.
like the first one. Then so without the boots has been like maybe like 5 days or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So even like today when I went to physio. So my physiotherapist, because then I just ditched the boots. I was like, at some point, I think just the fact that it's healing properly. So like in the boot, like some muscles are just like, I'll say, complaining. They're like, okay, why are you not using us?
You're right.
So then it hurts. So I had to ditch the boot. So when my physiotherapist saw me, he was like, "Hey, what happened to the boot?" I'm like, "I don't need it anymore." So I was wearing my two sneakers, and he was like, "Okay, you actually walking great." I was like, I say, "Yeah." So we did some exercising, and he was like, "Okay, I think we don't need," because he was waiting for me to get the okay of the okay of the surgeon, and
Right.
I was like, and he was like, "Okay, I think we don't need it. You good. You good."
That's great.
So actually, the lamp is even like when I have a little bit of pain during the day because I kind of walk too much or something like that. I didn't rest enough or something. So like during the night when I'm start having pain and I use the light, it's really like relieving the pain. And
Yeah.
the next morning I'm just good to go.
Yeah. And how, so when did you break your ankle?
So it was on September 21st.
Okay. All right. September, October, November.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not even sorry, October 21st and then, yeah, November. So you're at almost 3 months coming up very shortly here
Mm-hmm.
in
Yeah.
time. Yeah. So what else have you, so you've been using it for that. Have you found any other uses for it or have you had anybody else try the light? What's happened with that?
Okay, so right now I'm kind of fighting with my son for, for the light because okay, so when Faith brought the lights, so he was there that day and he could hear the whole conversation and then he saw the light working on me.
Mm-hmm.
So one day because he plays football for McMaster, so wasn't the last game, but the game before, because now the season is over for them. So that was the game before. He hurt his shoulder,
Okay.
and yeah, so he was in pain. So he got meds from the team doctor, but he wasn't helping. So at some point I was like, okay, why don't you try the light? Because it seems like it's working for me. So try it. So
Yeah.
he started like using it and he took it at night, use it because he had to bring it back in my room. So the next morning, I just heard a knock at my door, and it was like, "Mom, can I borrow the light again?" And I was like, "How did you sleep?" He was like, "I slept great." So I was like, "Okay, yeah, take the light." So he went and started using the light. So now, from now on, it's like because they keep like practicing. So from any boo-boo that he gets, the light is gone. He keep
So,
using it.
so you're fighting with him, not because but you want your light back, is what you want.
Yeah, I want my light back because I told him, I say, okay, the deal is when you use it, please bring it back because because I can't be like hopping and chasing you. So just bring it back. That's the deal.
Yeah.
But he's doing great. Yeah.
And it was, who else used it for something else? It was the eyes, something with
That's my husband. So he has macular degeneration.
would that be wet or dry? Is it just recently occurred, or is it long time?
I think he has been taking needles for
That'd be wet macular degeneration then. Yeah.
that's wet.
Yeah. Yeah. Usually you get the injections for the wet macular degeneration. Okay.
Okay, okay, yeah. So I think that's 3 years now.
Okay.
Yeah, that
Once
he
a month.
has
Once a month.
yeah. No, actually, okay, so it was twice a month, and then now it's yeah, it's once a month.
Okay. All right. Does he find that quite painful when he gets the
It
injection?
is. Yeah, it is. It is painful.
Yeah.
So
And
like recently, so when I got the lights, so I was like, okay, you're gonna need to use it because I think when when I talk about it with you, you mentioned it, and I asked that question. I was like, okay, what is it? What about like MD? Does it help? And you were like, okay, yeah, it's helped because there is a lady who had the same problem. So I
yes.
was like, I say, okay. Then the night that I start using it, I start using it on him. But usually he's skeptical.
He's skeptical.
They're
Who's
very he was very skeptical, and I think up to now. So it was like always like a kind of a fight for him to use it. But at some point, it was like, it's weird because the eye prescription that he had was now too strong. So one day he came back from work and he was like, okay, what's funny? I can't even see with my eyeglasses now. And then I was like, why don't you try the other one, the previous prescription that you have? And when he tried it, he was like, oh, that's better. But I remember like 2 years ago, no, 1 year ago, we had to change that one because he couldn't see anymore with those ones.
So he's actually gone backwards in like to
Eh,
less prescription.
Yeah. And the other thing, when he had the last needle, he said that it was less painful. So when he came back, he used the light again, and he was able like to go through the day because he was like way less painful than
May
before.
I ask how old your husband is?
63.
Okay. All right. And the light treatment that is with the eyelid closed, and he's doing
Mm-hmm.
1 minute
1 minute.
of the red and 1 minute of the near infrared with the eyelid
Yeah.
closed. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's
Yes.
doing it once a day, or how is he doing it?
So twice a day, morning and
Okay. All right.
evening.
Twice a day. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we've seen that it can help with different eye problems. And
Yeah.
so that's really fantastic news that this happened for your husband. I guess he's
Yeah.
pretty happy now.
Oh yeah, he's happy but still skeptical. Because sometimes now it's like, oh, I think maybe it's my diet. Maybe I'm like, I say, okay, you know what? I'm not gonna give up on you. I'm just gonna keep pressing on.
Oh, that's
But he's still doing it because now I don't have to push him. So he comes and look for the lights and just do the treatment. I'm like, okay.
he's just trying to give you a hard time. That's all.
Exactly, exactly. But he has an exam coming. I think it's gonna be tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, on the 19th. Yeah, that's tomorrow. So he has an exam coming, and we'll see. We'll
Yeah.
see.
Well, that's great. And I know you talked about
Mhm.
three people that have been helped because of you're checking this out, and that's having faith that this light will do something. And
Yeah,
you did your research, and you said maybe this could help, and now it's
yeah,
not only helped through your father, yourself, and your son, and your husband. That's pretty good, I would say.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah, and well, my sister bought it too, and actually, it's helping on like in her household. And well, I guess she's gonna be the next to come and testify about it.
that's beautiful. That'd be beautiful. Well,
Yeah.
Bambi, thank you so much for being willing to do this interview and telling
Hmm.
about your story because it does help so many people out there to realize that light can actually make a big effect on the body.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's great to hear of your healing in that. Any last words you'd like to say?
Well, I'll say, well, thank you for having me.
Okay.
And well, I'll say too, thank you for, coming up with that lamp.
You're,
That's a great thing.
you're welcome. Yes, there's been a lot of years put into trying to develop this light technology and
Hmm.
to see it help so many, it's really neat. So
Yeah.
thank you, Bambi, so much for joining us tonight.
Okay, thank you.
All
Bye,
right.
Tom.
Bye for now. Well, I hope you enjoyed that as I did. It was a fun interview and to see how the light has helped so many people already. And as one person tells another, that's how we get out there. So thank you to all those that have mentioned to others about this technology and about our webinars. Please remember, tell others. And also there's on our YouTube channel, you can subscribe and you can get the latest videos that way as well. And we sometimes have a little extra content there. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to um, talk a little more about light technology, but we're going to go to our website now, and I want to show you some stuff on how to know the difference between different light devices. So let's go over to that, please. Oh, and do remember the fact that we have a 10% discount right now for Black Friday. And so just have to use the promo code when you check out, and you'll get a 10% discount. So when you go to our website, you click on research, and then you can see as we scroll down very slowly here. I'll just mention. Oh, we got one more pop up to. There we go. Um, so one is well-being. Let there be light. That was done by Dr. Robert Malone. And there's quite an interesting discussion that went on there in his blog, in his post, about how the light helped his wife. She actually got thrown from a horse 2 years earlier, and she significantly improved once she used our light. At first, when I met her, she said, well, she thought the light therapy that she was using from another company helped a bit. And I said, helped a bit? Well, then I think you're not using the best light technology. So I gave her one of ours, and they wrote that wonderful article. And there's been a lot of people who have learned about our light therapy from that one unit that helped her ankle so much. So then we have the middle, you can see the PBM research database. We'll go into that just if you want to click onto it. And if you scroll, I think you might have to click one more time. Yep. So right there. It's just going to take a moment. We hope. So here's a database that contains, I think it's up to 7,700 research articles. So if you want to do a search, you can search through. Let's say you want to look at, okay, what light technology, what research articles are for, let's say, some bursitis. You could type in bursitis and you'll see, let's say, so many research articles. You could type in, let's say, other skin disorders and look it up and see what research is out there. So very easy, very nice way of finding information on different studies that were done out there. So we'll go out of this now and join the conversation. You can talk about things. We'll go down a little bit further through our Facebook channel. And we have the PBM Foundation. That's if you want to, well, we'll just see how does that go? Let's try it out. Sometimes there's delays when we try and do these things. So the PBM Foundation is it's not controlled by any manufacturer, and there's all sorts of information under areas of study. It's just beside the donate page, there, donate tab, but you can look down that area, and you can look at all different kinds of research studies that happens to be on mucositis. There's, you name it. There's pain management, and so it's an independent foundation that is there to promote PBM, talks all about it. So great place to go to. Penetration spectrum, let's go to that for a moment. Just wanted to show you this chart. You want to scroll up a little higher? There we go. Okay. So basically, when you look at what we have done there, is if you want to scroll down just a little further. So the wavelengths that come from light in the light electromagnetic spectrum, a particular area we're looking at is, let's say, 200 to, I'll say, even up to 1300 nanometer is wavelengths that could be worked with. We have so the real area of penetration, if you look at around the 465, that's blue, and then 535 is green, yellow 590, 635 looks like that orangey red, 700 is, or 660 is just beside that, a deeper red, and then you get into the area which is called near infrared. And near infrared is the wavelengths that go beyond the red spectrum and start going into the area where just around 800 nanometer, where it's getting harder and harder to see that wavelength. And that penetration level, as you go towards your right on this, up to about 1300 nanometer, is all wavelengths that can penetrate deeper. So we do have the three devices, the Palm Pro, Palm Ultimate, and the Super Palm. Basically, they have the two wavelengths for the Palm Pro and the Palm Ultimate. They have the 660 nanometer wavelength, which is actually all three of them have the 660 nanometer wavelength. But that wavelength is that red just below the 700. And that has a possibility of penetrating pretty decently, but it's not as deep as when you go to 810 nanometer. So the Palm Pro and the Palm Ultimate have the wavelengths with a little more power. And then we get up to the Super Palm, which has the 1050 nanometer. Same type of power as the Palm Ultimate, but now you have, instead of the 810 nanometer, you have 1050, which has the potential to penetrate a bit deeper. So if we scroll up just a little bit, keep going. There you go. So, okay, it doesn't show it all on one shot here. But basically, you can scroll just a little bit. There we go. It's not going to show very well. Okay, but basically, you have the two wavelengths of 660, 810 for the Pro and the Ultimate, and the Ultimate has like 25% more power, both for the 660 and the 810. And then you have the Super Palm, which has the same power of the 660 nanometer, but it has the 1050 nanometer instead of the 810. So if we go more, scroll it up a little bit, so you can see the Professional, then the Ultimate goes a little bit deeper, and this is a representative chart. It's not, it all depends on tissue, it depends on a lot of things as to penetration, but the penetration depth can be a little bit deeper with the 1050. Okay, we'll go back out of this and go back to our research page. So we have, let's go to the competitor chart. And if you made that full screen, it might work a little bit better for us. Okay, so on this competitor comparison, I want to show something about this. So if we scroll down a little bit, we'll scroll past okay, there, just a little, oh no, a little, that's beautiful, right about there. Okay, so here's some different products out there. And you can see our unit, let's say our Palm device on the left, and the another device in the on the middle there, and then another one to your right, and then you have the battery operated, looks like a mini panel. So we're looking at different areas that are treated with this. But if you look at, so a little bit more with the next model, as you see in the middle of the page, and then it's an unknown, and then 120 square centimeters. Sure, there's a little more area, let's say, covered, but here's the challenge. Scroll down a little bit further. This, let's look at the number of LEDs. And what I want to bring your attention to is a new specification that I believe should be out there, is how many LEDs per 100 square centimeters. Now, for those that don't know the centimeters very well, that'd be like 4 inches by 4 inches. How many LEDs do you have? So we actually have 30 LEDs per 4 by 4, so that's roughly 16 square inches. And the near infrared, we got like 25 LEDs per 16 square inches. If we look at to the right, well, this one's got a lot more LEDs per 16 square inches. But the thing is, each one of those LEDs are extremely low power. Then you go more to your right, and you can see that this other device basically has 5 high power red LEDs and 12 blue and 8 near infrared and 8 of the other ones. We'll go further to the right, and you'll see this one here has this mini panel has 10 LEDs per 100 square centimeters. So if we're talking, if they really are running these LEDs at maximum, which I doubt they are because they're not cooling them as well as they need to do, you can look at the difference of, to the very right-hand side, you see 10 LEDs per 100 square centimeter, and we have 30 LEDs per square centimeter. And the other thing is that we put our power in such a way that when you switch it to the red, it's full power on all those 30 LEDs, or 12 LEDs in total. But over that whole area, you basically have 30 LEDs in comparison to 10 LEDs of the far right-hand mini panel. And the thing is that they're both wavelengths are together, so they only have half of those LEDs. So they have basically 5 LEDs per 100 square centimeter, where we have 30 or 25 LEDs. So the number of LEDs is very, very important because you need to have the right power density. And power density is extremely important to what kind of penetration. And it's not only power density, it's power density over the area. And we basically have the power density over the whole area. We can scroll down just a little bit further. So we looked at the actual power, optical power, and as you can see, we're looking at 6,500 milliwatts when you switch to the red for our device, or 7,500 milliwatts at the near infrared, where some of these other, that next one beside us, which I told you was the low power LEDs. Well, you can see, even though it's got a lot of LEDs, you got to look at how much power those LEDs are giving. In this case, it's only 140 milliwatts or 360 milliwatts. And then you look at that panel to the far right, and it's like 2 watts per total coming from it. And if we look at the next thing, which is the irradiance, you see that there's, let's say, pick up on the red, you got 162 milliwatts per square centimeter over the whole area. The other device I was showing you is like 3.1 milliwatts per square centimeter, a lot less. And even if we looked at the panel, which looks impressive, is really 8.3 milliwatts per square centimeter compared to our 162. Okay, and if we scroll down just a little bit further, yeah, we're not the cheapest device on the market, but we want to have the effective power dose. And the next one over, so our device is $1,900 US. The next device over is part of a whole system. Next one over is $8,000 USD, and the other one is $550. So our price is there, but we're providing a lot of optical power, and we have specialized cooling. Let's scroll down just a little further. This is scroll a little fast, a little further up. Go ahead, more up. Sorry, down. I meant down. There we go. A little further down. There we go. So here's some panel lights. And the big thing here is you'd have to take the 3 panels to your right and squeeze them all down in order to be to be similar to our optical power that we have. So if you go down a little bit further, you can see ours has 620 square centimeters. There's 1472, 780, 750. Okay. But come back to this whole area of how many LEDs, how many powerful LEDs does it have for that 4 square inch area? And the reason people might ask why 16 square inches, why did I choose 100 square centimeters? It's because people have a hard time sometimes with the math. So if we do whole numbers, it's a whole lot easier to look at this than trying to figure out comparing one thing with 1.35 and another thing at 0.025. It's a little harder, but this way it gives us a better representation of how many LEDs. So if you can see, our device again is around 25.8 LEDs per 100 square centimeters, whereas the other device has only 1.7 LEDs per 100 square centimeter for each wavelength. So even though it might look very impressive, they mix the wavelengths together and they give you only a small fraction of the total power. And even then, the total power is fairly low. Then if we go to the next device in the third column, you see they have 5.1 LEDs for one wavelength and 5.2 LEDs for the other per 100 square centimeters. We're like 5 times more power dense than with the calculations than this third column. And then you look at the last column, Well, they got 17.6 LEDs per 100 square centimeters, and we got 25. But what they've done is they've divided that over all the wavelengths. So there's a little bit of each power, which is not what we do. We put the LEDs in such a way that they're full power with one wavelength, or if you choose to use the other wavelength, it's full power the other. So that's kind of, this chart will help people with that. So if we looked at a little further down, you can see that the light power we have is, let's say on our red or near infrared, 63 watts, 60 watts for the, or 60,000 milliwatts if people like to talk about milliwatts. But the second column is 8.7 watts. The other one's 21 and a half, or 21 and a half watts and 16 and a half watts. But it comes back to the power density, which is what I was saying. You'd have to take the third column, and squeeze it down to like a quarter of the size to get approximately the same power density that we have. So you can see where we have around 100 milliwatts per square centimeter. And 100 milliwatts, by the way, per square centimeter would be the same as what you would feel on a sunny beach. If you were out on a sunny beach, on a beach, and it was sunny outside, you would feel 100 milliwatts per square centimeter. That is actually the total power, optical power coming from the sun around that level. So we kind of borrowed the sun for SunPowerLED in our logo. But anyways, we have basically the same type of optical power as the sun with this device, whereas the next column over, you're looking at 5.9 milliwatts. Well, that would be like trying to sunbathe at about 7 o'clock in the evening. Just before the sun goes down, you might be getting 5.9 milliwatts. Go to your other one, which is 26.9 milliwatts per square centimeter. That'd be more like probably being out on the beach at 5:30 or something. And 22 might be at 6. The next column over be at like 6. So really, it is very, very important to have enough power and power density. So power is total power that's delivered, and then power density is how close that power is. How dense is that power coming at you? You don't need the power to be spread over your whole body when your shoulder aches. You need as much power as you can get to reach deeper into your shoulder or into your hip or different other areas. So having a more power dense or a higher power density is very, very key. And you want that over a significant amount of area. So yes, we have a more expensive price, but we have it because we are trying to put that many extra LEDs in our device. We're trying to push squeeze it down so you get a very high power density, and that helps for reaching deeper into the body. So that's some, gives you some ideas. And then on that chart, you can just scroll down further. We have other types of power devices that we have as well that we've compared the large canopy to. So let's get out of this then. Okay, and we'll just go back to them. Okay, yes, thanks. Competitor, keep going. Transcranial PBM research, there's some great stuff there to look at. There's also lymph node diagrams to show you where lymph nodes are. Very, very important is the area of lymphatic drainage. So it's really important if you have, let's say, a very swollen ankle, it might be also because your lymphatic system through your knee is not working properly. So the lymph nodes in the back of your knee could be up further in your groin area, or it could be where it leaves the lymphatic system finally drains. So it's important to look at that diagram And what you want to do is treat the furthest, the closest to where it leaves. So it's kind of like a river. Think of a river, and what you don't want to do is you don't want to open up all the um, upstream. You don't want to open up all those things because if it all comes down in one shot, and there's any plugs down the road, it's not very good because that area can also get inflamed. What you want to do is go downstream to where it leaves the body and work your way backwards. So in other words, if you were treating let's say you need to treat your ankle because of inflammation, then you would want to treat up near the groin and also another part by the belly, to treat that first. Then you treat by the groin, then you treat by the back of the knee, and then you treat the ankle itself. So you treat the farthest downstream, upstream. You treat that last. So hopefully that makes sense. But that's what the lymph nodes is all about. PBM research studies. We pulled some other information there, and there's an interesting video. PBM is revolutionizing healthcare. If we can scroll down a little further. And this is the PBM 2024 conference that we were at. That was in England. I was able to present there how light can penetrate through various tissues, going from 3/4 of an inch to 2¼ inch, and also looking at the comparison between light that is coming from a laser to an LED. And basically what I was able to show is it's very, very similar. If you start off with a 5-watt laser that's at 1050 nanometer, and you do, let's say, 5 watts from our device at 1064 for the laser, 1050 for us, you would end up going through all that tissue, and you'd find out that the 1060, the two light devices, same type of light comes through all that tissue, reaching your target, let's say, if that's how deep it is. So it doesn't matter whether you use a laser at the source or whether you use an LED, as long as it's the same power. But there is a huge difference in cost. You could be looking at anywhere from 20 to 30 times the amount of money to buy a laser. I would suggest you use an LED device. It's very, very safe. That's another beautiful thing about lasers. LEDs, is that you are extremely safe when it comes to utilizing everywhere, because it doesn't have the high power, extremely high power density. So you have a dot that can remain as a dot of very powerful light even across the room. And so you could harm somebody across the room with a laser. That's always possible. So that's why you absolutely must wear glasses, safety glasses, when it comes to lasers. But when it comes to LEDs, you might wear some glasses for comfort. I just want to make sure you know that I'm not a medical doctor. I'm working with a lot of medical doctors, but I'm not prescribing anything from these videos. We're showing you what's all possible with light. But if you go into this PBM 2024 area, you can find the presentations we made, various others like Dr. Michael Hamlin, who presented, Dr. Nazer, and others that were at the PBM 2024 conference. So please visit that spot on our research page. Okay, if you'd like to put me back to the full mic, the full camera, I mean. Okay, so this is our that one that I mentioned to you with the 60 optical watts. This is our mini canopy, and it has the 2 different wavelengths there. You can see it there. This is the 10 nanometer. It doesn't look very bright, but this penetrates very well. The other wavelength is the 660 nanometer, and it's quite bright and doesn't penetrate as deep, but it's so I hope everybody was Okay, I hope everybody was able to hear us okay. But anyways, there was a comment come up about light audio, how good the audio was. Okay, we also have the helmet. That was also in that PBM 2024, we show that this helmet was used on for people with opiate addiction and depression, and they found they had significant improvement using the light device for twice a week for they used they in this case for the study they only used the near infrared, which is this is the red right now, the 660 nanometer. Here's the near infrared. You barely can see it, but this is the one they used. And with 2 3-minute treatments a week, they were able, over a 2-month period, the people that had the light treatment did extremely well. And that's in the PBM 2024 that was presented there by Dr. Margaret Naser. Fantastic researcher who really understands the brain. And there's also Dr. Anita Saltmarsh, and she was involved as well. So anyways, great event. And so those are our light devices. Here's our smaller device. So not only do we have the mini canopy in the back here, but we also have a very large canopy. It's actually, with this one here, it's 3 of these lengthwise by 2 wide. So it covers the whole back and neck area in one shot. That's our large canopy. And then we have the palm devices, which are we have the professional, and that's got the 2 wavelengths, 660 and 810 nanometer. And then we have the ultimate, as I said, which has the same 2 wavelengths, 660 and 810, and it's got a little more power. Now, if you could actually see this, it's going right through my hand with the red wavelength. And the 810, you don't see this very much, but it's actually going through my hand much easier. We did some measurements, and you're looking almost 30 times more energy that I'm measuring on the other side of my of the other side of my hand. So with the 810, you wouldn't know it looking at it. It's just that your eyes can't perceive it. So that's the two units with the 660 810, and then we have the Super Palm, which is the 660, as I mentioned earlier, and the 1050. And the 1050, I can't see it at all, but the camera can actually pick it up, and you can see the purplish looking light. So I'm going to see if there's any other questions. I know we're running a little late here. So tonight, I guess we got into more explanation. If there are questions, please email us at info@SunPowerLED. That's info@SunPowerLED. And please tell others about this and these devices and how they can help. It was so wonderful to have Bambi on earlier, and the just how that has had such a great impact in a number of people's lives that she knows. So our next webinar will be next Tuesday, November 26th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you everyone for joining us tonight, and I hope you have a wonderful week, and may God richly bless you all. Bye for now.